Men and women, absolutely, yeah, right down the middle actually. There's a lot of, mountain biking always used to be quite male dominated, but things have certainly changed in the last sort of 5-10 years. There seems to be an awful lot of couples, men and women, both coming, both taking up bikes. It's not the case of the man takes a bike and the woman does something else. Yeah, so it's right down the middle. I've had to, when I first started, a lot of my bikes were either male or unisex, but I've now got just as many ladies' bikes as I do men's.
I think it's tough for males and females to start in business. I think females definitely have maybe more to juggle if you're a mother, or just by being a. I think it's times are changing, but I think that particularly as a mother, I'm a mother of 3 children. You definitely have a lot more to juggle to set up a business, and there's not as many of us setting up in business, but there's definitely more of us, and in some ways that can also be a positive because you can be pretty good at time management, you can do a lot of things and be pretty organised. Not to say that our male counterparts are not, but I think it's a challenging process to go through setting up a business, and each of us as a male or a female has different challenges, so I wouldn't want to say that we're harder done by than males, because I don't think that's true. So.
Yeah, that's been one of our USPs, really, the fact that a lot of the times in the school environment, particularly when it comes to Health Week, or they're looking for an activity for the whole school, trying to find something that both boys and girls equally like can be quite a challenge. So within our experiences, we've addressed that. The setup that we have really allows both boys and girls to try it out and not feel silly in front of the opposite sex. I'm more than happy doing it, and yeah, we benefit a lot from that because it's not gender specific really.
From a gender point of view, we have our developers, both male and female developers, and product managers and things like that. So what we there's no the way the products are developed. There's no kind of focus on either way, and again across all ages as well. So
Not a man's world.
No, it's not at all. No, I mean, I think the traditional picture of a developer is somebody, a sort of bearded kind of guy sitting there. But actually, the opportunity for development for ladies as well as guys is absolutely the case. We're actually, funny enough, we're doing in the last couple of weeks, we just got involved in the Will.i.am Duke of York kind of what's it called? It's called a Million Ideas programme, and we're supporting a 17 and 19-year-old girl who've come up with a product idea, and we're working really well with them. And these, it's not gender's irrelevant. It's the energy and passion to go and pick an idea and drive it through to the next stage. So I love it.
I think it is both.
Yes,
I think
it should be both.
Yes, I mean there's one product which we brought out which is specifically for the beauty market, and because the beauty market is mostly women, it's got a more feminine package, and it is aimed at women. But apart from that, I think they're all fairly...
Yeah, I think they are gender neutral, and rightly so. And I think the beauty one is interesting because when we were doing, and we did do a lot of market research before we started, we could see that the kind of whole sort of beauty from within thing was a kind of trend that was out there. There was a lot of mega trends that we could tap into. And I remember thinking, chocolate's really a tipping point with that, because... if you're interested in antioxidants, applying it with a topical cream or something like that, we can actually get it in the food. And because we're stocked out in places like Selfridges and Harvey Nichols, I could see that was a very good starting point, a good springboard for something like, and it's called Boutique, with the IQ at the end. And it's literally just been launched, so we've yet to see how that one goes, but it is the only one that is very gender specific. And actually there's no reason why it couldn't be part of the kind of emerging sort of male grooming type sector as well. So who knows, we may well bring out one that's targeted at that sector as well.
So you've had to adjust your marketing to fit those people.
Completely. And that comes back to the events I mentioned. You might think it's a good idea to go to a big bike event, for example, like a mountain biking outdoors event. That's going to be full of adrenaline junkies, and the last thing on their mind is what their 5-year-old niece wants for Christmas. whereas a granny at a much more sort of homey interior kind of show, maybe like a house and garden event, and that sounds quite too civilized for us, really. But if you're looking for presents, then you're willing to spend.
And do you find at those events you're standing out as well? Because,
Absolutely, yeah. The ski lady, yeah. The ski lady who runs at 1,000,000 miles an hour up the aisles restocking, which is good.
Yes, it is aimed at men and women. It's mainly a female-dominated market. So as much as we are a brilliant way to get fit and healthy for a man, the group fitness element tends to be female-dominated, although we are seeing a shift in that. We are getting more and more guys joining up. Depending on the workplace, some of the oil and gas places are predominantly male environments, but in the public sessions, about 85% female.
And they're all mixed sessions, are they? Or do you
They are mixed sessions, yeah. You get 2 or 3 guys coming along and loving the fact that they're in there with 20 or 30 women.
Nobody minds being mixed, everyone's happy to work out together.
Yeah, they are. Burn It is the kind of company that gets you fit. We're not the company that gets fit people fitter. So we tend to be getting people off the couch and into doing something. And that market are much more open to just being fun and having a social time and enjoying it. They're much less competitive.
Yes, it's very much boys and girls. It's interesting that in the younger age category of the 3 to 6 year olds, the ratio is about 60-40 in favour of boys, so it's still marginally in favour of boys in terms of the quantity of boys versus girls coming into the game. But as the game progresses, you tend to get more retention in the boys, and a large reason for that, one of the biggest reasons for that is again down to equipment, because the girls just haven't got the strength to swing the clubs. So part of the project is actually to get more girls into golf as well as more boys. But we're expecting a resurgence of girls coming in because they'll find it easier to use our equipment and swing the clubs.
I'm a great believer, if a subject is a tricky subject and people are uncomfortable with it, don't dwell on it too much, on the nitty-gritty of it. We're all grown-ups. We know what happens when a woman has a period. I don't need to go into all of that medical side of things. Basically, it's a business. And there's any man worth his salt in terms of business will get that. Whether he has a wife or a daughter who suffers, you can tell right away they fall into 2 categories. They either understand it firsthand, or they don't understand it, but they do understand that there's a market there. So concentrate for people like that. If I'm talking to guys who are uncomfortable with it, I focus very much on the statistics and the reality of how many women suffer and how many of them are not being serviced by a product like this.
You haven't had difficulties?
No, I haven't had difficulties because I think, from my background in presenting or doing stuff in the theatre, I'm very much aware that if you're awkward about a subject when you talk to someone about it, it's awkward to listen to. Equally, you have to be sensitive to someone else's feelings, and if they're uncomfortable with it, just talk quite matter-of-factly about the facts and figures.